This is my review of the Epson XP-5200. I'll share with you the positive side and the negative side of owning one of these printers. So let's get started with the positive. I really like that the control panel over here is adjustable. So no matter if you sit or if you're standing up, you'll have access to all the features over here. This is not a touchscreen, it's just a quite small 2.5-inch display, but with the buttons I found that it's very easy to navigate. Another thing that I liked is that it has quite the basic features that someone expects for a home printer. So on the top we have a scan glass, pretty typical. It can scan up to A4 size paper. Over here we have the paper input that surprisingly can take up to 150 sheets of paper, which again it's nice since you won't have to refill it very often. On the back over here we have a USB port. This is if you prefer connecting a USB cable to connect it to your computer instead of Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, the cable does not come included in the box. Rest assured, this printer has Wi-Fi. It can connect to your Wi-Fi network, or it can have Wi-Fi direct, which means that you'll connect directly to the Wi-Fi of the printer with your smartphone or computer. And while testing this printer, I have connected with my iPhone and also my computer. I didn't have any issues. The whole setup takes less than 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you really want to take your time. The Epson Smart Panel app, the one that you need to download to make it work, it's very easy to understand. There's nothing confusing about it. It simply works. So this printer is able to print 4800 by 8200 dpi, which is slightly better than other competitors. If you intend to buy this printer to print pictures, if we simply check the print quality, I think it's great. It has enough resolution. Even if I zoom in over here, it's very hard to see the pixels. Everything looks sharp and the colors are really vibrant. On this picture as well, you can see even in the darkness, usually on cheaper printers where you see shadows, there is some noise, there's some dots going on. Here, no, everything looks very clean. And for the price, this printer retails for around $120. I think this printer is above average when talking about print quality. Over here, I have printed some text, and I mean, this is easy even for a $50 printer, so there's nothing to brag about, but yeah, it looks sharp. And if I zoom in, there's no stains, there's no weird things going on. Even with a small picture over here, I really like the details this printer is able to resolve. It's able to print on both sides of the paper, and you can also print borderless photos. But for that, you need to install the Epson driver that is available on their website. If you set up this printer the same way you set up other printers, so you just go in Windows and add the printer, or on Mac as well, you won't have access to borderless. You absolutely need to manually download the driver from the Epson website. At least in my experience, this is what I had to do. And I have to mention, it's able to print at 14 pages per minute in black and white and 7.5 pages per minute in color, which makes this printer not very fast. There's faster options if speed is something important to you. Now let's talk about the negative side of this printer. Actually, there's one huge one, in my opinion. And this is the ink. So the ink cartridges are accessible over here. Simply lift this cover, and here we go. We got black, cyan, magenta, and yellow. This printer takes the Epson 222 ink cartridges. So what's the issue about that? Well, the ink is very expensive. For a pack, okay, of all these colors, you'll have to spend $48 US. And unfortunately, this means that you'll be able to print 210 pages in black and white or 185 pages in color using the magenta, yellow, and cyan color cartridges. Sorry, so the battery of my camera just died, so I have to use my phone to finish my review. But yeah, anyway, 25 cents per page is a lot. Probably one of the highest in its category, cost per page. It's actually cheaper to go to your local library or print shop and print everything that you need there. They will probably charge you less than 25 cents per page if you're gonna print a higher volume. And I already hear you say, well, simply get aftermarket ink. You don't have to get the Epson ink that is so expensive, right? Well, no, unfortunately, by reading many reviews on Amazon and also on other websites, people are complaining that Epson is blocking aftermarket ink for this printer. And even if it's not blocked currently, they're updating the firmware and they find a way to block it. So yeah, one way would be, I guess, to never update your printer and make sure that it does not auto updates. But at the same time, I will be afraid to invest in aftermarket ink and get it blocked. Obviously, Epson is trying to make money like HP, Canon, Brother, all these brands, and they're all trying to block their aftermarket competitors. But simply by reading the comments of other owners, I feel that Epson is quite aggressive in that matter. So do I recommend this printer? Well, if you don't care about your money and you simply want good print quality and don't mind paying 25 cents for each page, color page that you print. And by the way, this is more than 25 cents since the picture covers almost all the paper. If you're going to print full page pictures like this one, the cost per page is probably around 45 cents. This printer again is selling for $120 around, depending of the time of the year. And it's funny because Epson is also making the EcoTank printers, which are able to print at less than 1 cent per color page. And those printers usually start at $70 more than this one. So I really wonder, for who is this made? It's not made for businesses, since the ink cartridges are not able to hold a lot of ink. And this one doesn't even have a top document feeder that many businesses like. I won't have mind a print to cost 25 cents or more if this printer had a very special, for example, if it was able to print posters or something similar, bigger size, I could have understood paying a bit more for that. So I'm a bit confused. I'll put links in the description towards this printer on Amazon if you still want it, but also towards alternatives that in my opinion are better choices than this one. So check my links, leave a comment if you want to add something or if you agree with me, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.